Hello everyone, Jeff with the Halcyon Masters, and today we are taking Tier 3 Celeste into the jungle. I'm playing with Juarez and MrSyGuy from our guild, and Juarez and SyGuy both had quests to play both Phinn and Ringo, so they're going to be taking those respectfully. And because it's a casual match, we decided to take a jungle Celeste to see how that works out. So we'll be getting into the game shortly. One of the things that we're going to prioritize is because we're going to be dropping a lot of heliogenesis. I'm actually going to start off with an energy battery for Celeste. So we'll go down into the abilities, pick up that energy battery and a couple of Halcyon potions. So a little skip on the video, but I think we should smooth out here in a second. So SyGuy is going to take lane with Ringo. Juarez is playing that Tier 2 Phinn skin. And I think that's the first time SyGuy saw my Tier 3 Celeste, so he's having some fun with that one. So we're starting off with our lower backs. I'm actually telling Juarez in our chat to stick with me because of how squishy Celeste is in the jungle. As you can see, I get chunked down pretty quickly, so I'm going to have him take a little bit more aggro, even though it would be nice to prioritize the XP. But we want to make sure that I'm healthy enough to fight down in the bottom by the jungle shop if need be. I'm going to point a point in my V to get the stun up. I'm going to come down, pick up that crystal bit, and now we're going to work on the front doubles. So here comes Krul. I see him right there. I'm going to drop my stun, which is going to really help out. Chunk him down, and you see that damage that we can put out. A stun, Juarez drops his quibble, and then I can throw down a couple heliogenesis, and we get Krul caught out right there. So we're working on Ardan right there, take him down, so it's an early 2-0 lead for us, which is good. And then we're going to go ahead and start on our back camps again. So while I'm playing, I'm always keeping some awareness on the map. So I see Ringo and Blackfeather up at the top of the map in the lane, kind of dancing around each other up there. That's going to help me know if there's a rotation or if any ganks are coming or if I see any of the enemy junglers up there. So Juarez throws a flare out to the side, so we see Ardan and Krul over there. There he is again, drop a helio, I'm going to drop my stun, which gets him, and put it in for the another heliogenesis, and we end up deleting him almost instantly. So we're going to do a little jungle invade, take the front duo. I'm going to check to see if their mid healer's up. And even though the death timers are short, I'm going to be a little greedy and come into this. I see that he's starting to work on the top healer. So I'm going to come up here, and he gets it before I can drop my helio. So Juarez comes down, he's going to help me with the back camps. So there we go, took their back jungle monsters, which is good. I see Ardan coming down. So I think we're just going to retreat really quick. Nope, we're actually going to take this mid camp right here. So when Krul saw us down at the back jungle, he rotated up and pulled a gank on SyGuy up at the top. So now I'm going to watch to see how they push the lane to make sure that our turret's not in jeopardy. And I do know that Krul is going to be somewhere around here. So Ardan just went in the bottom bush. He kind of poked his head out and came back. And we're going to go back and prioritize our back camps, which the Krul ended up stealing. So we got pinged to let us know that he's in that area. I'm going to rotate down the other side, cut off his escape. He rotates up, drop the stun there. Here's a helio. That was actually a really good Vanguard by Ardan to save the Krul. He's a little faster than I am right now, even though I have tier 1 boots. So Ardan comes in, I drop the stun, get him caught in it. The quibble comes down, but he's able to Vanguard out. We're going to chase the Ardan instead of the Krul. He's just outside of my range, and here comes Krul. I have 2 seconds left on my stun, drop it, get him caught in it. There's a helio, drop another one, but the smite ends up taking me out, which is doing some massive damage this early in the game. Wow. So I'm checking to see what he's building. He's going weapon power, and so is Blackfeather, so I'm going to go ahead and grab a little bit of defense. looks like I need to clear out an item spot. So I'm going to upgrade to be able to drop a few more heliogenesis on a quicker basis. I did not pick up any defense because I didn't want to sell the crystal bit, and I'm just going pure damage. My thought is that I can get the Krul in the stun, drop enough damage to get him before he gets me. So we've got the minions plumped up pretty well. Dropping a few more of our A ability, get those down. There's the back minions. Now we're going to work on our minion miner to help out MySyGuy up in the lane. And the minion mine is ours.
Allied minions are now stronger.
So we've got 3 points in our A, 2 points in our B. Juarez did a good, polite company to check the bush to see if, to make sure Ardan and Krul were not in there. I use my heliogenesis as a flare in that bush. And now I'm going to start to work on the bottom doubles while Juarez rotates up into the lane to help out MySyGuy. I'm going to follow. So MySyGuy is quite low. Tried to drop the stun, he was able to get out of it pretty easily, and there comes the Krul, able to gank our laner. He didn't land his stun, but still really good dead man's rush so he could close that gap. So I'm telling Juarez that I'm going to go back and make sure that our back camps aren't being stolen. I see them working on our mids. I'm going to go ahead and take the healer so I have that extra health and energy in case we do have to engage in a fight. Juarez throws over a flare, and we're feeling pretty confident that these backs aren't going to get ganked, but there is Krul. So you can see as soon as I see him, I drop my stun, but it's a little bit too late because he does 417 damage on me with his smite. Pretty ridiculous. So in this case, I did sell the crystal bit. I'm thinking whether I want to be able to kite or whether I want the armor. I end up going with tier 2 armor so I can protect myself against that smite. I shoot off an ultimate in hopes that I can help out a little bit in that team fight. It does take a little bit of health out, probably scares them a little bit, so they're not pushing the turret quite so hard. So I'm going to come up, use my range, check the bush to make sure that Krul is not in there. Come up here, check the bush again. So with Celeste, you always want to play cautiously. It is heliogenesis, back off, heliogenesis, back off. And that is because of how squishy she is, especially if any of these characters get to her. So Blackfeather and Krul are, not huge risks. Well, Blackfeather is a huge risk to Celeste. Krul, you can effectively kite and use your stun, and then my hope is that Juarez can then drop his quibble, which will then give us another stun, and we can get Krul down to the point where his health really is an issue. So we're going to quickly take down this gold miner, and there was an awesome ult by Krul to steal it. I have to give him props for that. He actually is quite a good player. I think during the game we were quite impressed with his play, even though I think in this game we end up pulling out the victory. So the play company is just out of range for that mid healer, so I'm taking the aggro. But we're going to take it down quickly, grab it. That's going to give me a little health and energy regen. I drop a helio. It's a little before Juarez can hit his basic attack, so I back off so that he can get the aggro and also that bonus 25% gold. So we take our backs, the back healer, and now we're going to rotate up in the lane to put a little bit of pressure on the Blackfeather. I see that both Ardan and Krul are rotating up. There he is. I'm going to drop my stun, gets a minute. Here we are. I'm backing away and throwing an ult right into that choke point. Actually doesn't end up doing too much damage to Krul. I was hoping to do a little bit more, but we're still not at our full build. Drop a helio. It ends up missing him because they move forward a little bit too much. Drop another one. I'm getting a little low on energy. Hopefully I can hit a core collapse. Instead, I'm just going to prioritize. I'm taking some of the minions, get a little pressure off of our turret because I know that all 3 of them are here. I see that Krul rotated into our backs, so he's now taking our minion mine. So while they're in the backs, I'm still prioritizing on saving our turret, because that's more important than kind of collecting that gold in the back there. I'm low on energy. I get a good, well, they use a good Krul ult on me. I get stunned, was unable to drop my stun on Krul and Ardan, but because they got greedy, they ended up falling for that one, especially when you're splitting 2 turrets and taking aggro from both. So I think my first tier 3 item that I'm going to prioritize is the Broken Myth, because I can sit back, poke, build up the stacks, which is going to give some really good damage amplification for Celeste. So I'm going to go down, I'm going to start work on our minion mine so we can take that back, and so that the enemy minions won't push. So one of my favorite combos with Celeste is A, B, A. As you can see, it does a lot of damage, protects me from taking a lot because of the stun, and allows me to clear these jungle camps quite effectively. I could do a better job of kiting away from the monster, but because it's the healer, I know that I'm going to get a lot of that health and energy back. So I did a little face check on the bush, just ran in there without a worry in the world. Probably not the smartest thing to do. I drop a Heliogenesis into the enemy bush just to make sure that they're not hiding there. Drop one below us to protect against the gank from Krul if he's rotating on that side.
Almost full.
So that was a good forced accord by Phinn. Pulled in Ardan. I'm dropping the Heliogenesis right behind where I think that he's going to go. Because that way, as he's running, there's another 513 damage from this might. But as I was saying on the Heliogenesis, I actually lead them a little bit because of the time that it takes it to drop. I want to make sure that it is in range of the enemy hero. So you're always seeing, if I think that they're going to be running towards the safety of their turret, I'm going to drop it maybe an inch or so in front of where their hero is, so that I can make sure that it lands. So I see Warriors is rotating up and going to help MySyGuy up in the lane. I'm not too worried about the Krul ganking him when he's that close to the turret. So I'm going to focus on farming and making sure that I can get to my full build. Because really, I'm going to continue to scale throughout the game. The Polite Company actually worked through the wall so that Warriors got the aggro, which I thought was pretty funny. So I'm pinging him saying, hey, let's go put some pressure on the turret. I try to use my stun, miss it. I see that Krul is coming up, so I'm going to back off to the safety of the turret. Use my ultimate, now with 2 points in it. Put a little bit of damage on. Warriors uses a Force Accord. I land a stun and another Helio. But Blackfeather is able to escape using his Rose Offensive. So you see, I'm playing defensively. I drop my Helio, I back off. I drop my Helio, I back off. I'm trying to do this such that I can continuously kite them. I was able to get a stun off, which I think is going to help out my teammates survive. So even though I fell in that case, it was still helpful to get that stun because it gave them time to reposition and survive that team fight. So in this case, I'm finding that the stuns are really the items that are saving me the most. So I'm gonna put a clockwork into my inventory. That's gonna have the nice little cooldown reduction, allow me to drop a few more Heliogenesis, and also have that core collapse up more often, which really is the part that's saving me the most from the Krul. Go back, prioritize on farming. So I see Warriors and MySyGuy are down in the jungle shop. I know that Warriors is, there to protect MySyGuy. I'm prioritizing my farm over his. Like, ideally, it would be good for us to work a little bit closer together so he's getting those, but because he's doing a lot of babysitting in the lane, he's not really hurting for gold. So another thing I like to do with Celeste is create a perimeter of these Heliogenesis. So you see that I start to spread them out or along in a path. What that does is it cuts off the motion that the Blackfeather can run, because he's going to fear for the second hit of those stars, which creates a lot more damage. So we've got 750 gold. We're going to go ahead and pick up a heavy prism. I drop a heliogenesis so that we can see that Ardan's coming in. There's the play company. Good on the drop there. I'm a little late on the stun. And use my ult, which ends up chunking them down. We have a fountain that comes out. A great forced accord by Juarez to pull Blackfeather off of me. I'm going to start dropping the heliogenesis on Krul. Use the reflex block there, but we end up taking him down quite quickly. We're going to work on the enemy minion. So we've got that. Now that we have both minion mines, our minions are going to start pushing toward their turret. I think they're going to go work on Kraken. I'm going to go push the lane up front. We're going to split kind of the damage so that we can take down hopefully a couple extra turrets out of that ace. So we're doing some good damage. Ardan comes in. I put down the stun just in case he continues to follow me, but he backs off of it. Now I'm going to rotate down and help my team work on this Kraken. So we have the Kraken. I'm going to pick up the Eclipse Prism, either to work into the Shatter Glass or the Eve of Harvest. Take those. I have 500 gold. I'm going to go down, Crystal Infuse for this next fight, and we're going to see how far we can take this Kraken. I throw a Heliogenesis into the bush to make sure that they're not going to follow us, and now we see all of the enemy heroes up front. So MySyGuy gets a slow onto the Blackfeather, but it's not able to do it. I put a stun, it hits Ardan, going through. So you can see with my broken miss stacks that they're definitely adding up right now. So drop the stun on Krul, I'm up to 5 stacks, and one more, there he is. So the only remaining enemy hero is the Blackfeather. He ends up using his A. There's a drop. So that was a great combo. Juarez used his Force Accord. I dropped my stun because I know exactly where Blackfeather is going to move next, and we ended up deleting him almost instantly. So Ardan drops his gauntlet. I put down the stun a little bit too late. There goes my ultimate. I'm going to fall, but we still have a half health Kraken going on the Vein Crystal, and Juarez is still full health. So they're going to continue to work on the crystal. It doesn't look like the enemy team will be able to take him down fast enough, and we are victorious. 3 thumbs up, 1 for each of us, and that was a good game. So thumbs up all around. As I said, the Krul did a really good job. Ardan had some great vanguards in there to save them. Their Blackfeather was solid. And then here are the builds. So we had MrSyGuy go with the weapon build, both Sorrow Blade and a Bone Saw. Phinn went full support, and then I went Crystal with a little bit of armor to protect against their double weapon composition. On the enemy team, they had 2 Bone Saws and the traditional Ardan support. Well, I hope you enjoyed this game. If you liked it, feel free to thumbs up the video, subscribe for more Vainglory content. Hopefully we'll have this coming out every couple days or so. And again, Jeff from Halcyon Masters, have a great day.